Hi there. Welcome to episode 1 of a new series. This is my Minecraft Christmas world, and we are in a survival multiplayer. So there's other people on the server that I know that we're going to be trying to take on this snowy tundra of a biome together. So as you can see from my surroundings, we are starting in a very sparse, cold biome here. This is vanilla Minecraft, but man, in vanilla, it is hard to find animals or any food or anything in the snowy tundra biome here. It's a really big one, so there's not really a reason to go and explore this early game, but we'll see how it goes. So this series is going to be just a survival multiplayer trying to conquer this Christmas world together. And so as I start here, I'm going to make a crafting table after destroying some spruce and some oak, and I'm going to make full wooden tools. I mean, does anybody really make wooden tools anymore? Probably not. Probably just a pickaxe. But for me, I feel like I want to go slow on this start and really just enjoy the early game, because you get to the middle, late game pretty quickly, in my opinion. And so just enjoying the cold survivability is going to be the problem for this world. So as I go and swim here, there are salmon underwater, and they start swimming away. And so here I'm like, my air bubbles are getting a little thin, and it actually made no sense for me to dive down and lose a bunch of health to try to get some salmon. But that's okay, because you live and you learn. I didn't realize salmon could swim away from you that fast, but I guess it's because I had no hunger to start with. So with that cobblestone I just mined, I made myself 2 furnaces, one on accident. I'm a Minecraft professional here, play a lot of it. And then I made a stone pickaxe, because why not? It's 2025. And then I made full stone tools. Upgrades, people upgrades. This is for real serious stone toolage. And after I made those stone tools, I decided I need to explore, and I found a village pretty quickly, which is sweet because otherwise I would have had 0 food. So finding a village definitely helped me. And there was some bread and an emerald in this chest, and when I tell you, I about cried when I saw that, because I had needed food this whole playthrough. And I'd been playing for like an hour and had no food. And this one had potatoes and beetroot seeds, which was kind of nice to grow things. And then a brewing stand, which is awesome. I mean, no blaze rod needed. And as I explored this village, I kind of grabbed things like beds and just basic chests or wood or whatever I found. And then I went underground because there is new copper in the game. I mean, copper has been around, but the uses for copper are actually insane now. I mean, it went from being pretty much useless, nothing, garbage, to, hey, maybe I want to put my pickaxe on that orange block for like a half a second, versus before where I'm telling you, I never mined copper. I really never did. Then I did some boat motion, and I was looking for a place to start my base. There were other people in the server, and I wanted to make sure I was somewhat in proximity to them. And then as I was on this one hillside, I found this mountain across the way. It was kind of flat, like a little bit of a flatter plateau, and I decided, let's throw some snowballs at it, because that's where I want to live. And people, that's exactly what I did. I used those garbage wooden tools, and I smelted them up in the furnace, and then I smelted that copper. And I was planning on surviving in this harsh but beautiful landscape. And even with this custom texture pack I have on, it doesn't change a whole lot, but it makes it some things a little bit Christmassy, as you might have noticed. But there's poinsettias. The saplings are a little bit Christmassy. Even some of the doors and just basic things like chests are a little bit Christmassy. And I put down a sign that said, "Welcome to the South Pole." I kind of claimed it just in case anybody was curious who was living there or something. I don't know. And then I planted a bunch of saplings because I knew I needed wood. And I almost thought, I'm so hungry I would eat a bunch of apples before I have to do anything serious. So that's what I did. And then I planted a bunch of sugar cane, which in this texture pack is candy canes. Trust me, it took a little bit of time to get used to. And then there was this igloo that had spawned next to my place, and under these igloos, I guess I didn't really realize this, there's actually a villager and a zombie villager that are trapped down here. It's kind of a cool thing. And if you guys don't know, part of the game is you can convert a zombie villager with a weakness potion and a golden apple, which it provides for you. And when you do that, it actually makes them into a villager with better traits. It will give you better rates with emeralds. So I splashed the weakness and gave him a golden apple. Let him brew for a little bit, and went up and did my merry business after that. These guys are actually kind of clutch. I mean, I can get early game emeralds so easy now. So then I slept in my little bed, my little blue bed, and I decided it was time to do some farming. And so I made a stone hoe, and I grabbed some of my crops and then went down to the water to start get my bread up, get my food up. And then what I realized was, man, I really need a bucket, because if I had a bucket, this would be so much easier, but I don't. So I'm going to have to just go down to the water like a peasant, like a poor person, and plant some crops. Also, I'm sure at this time, the other people in the server were probably thriving. You know, they were probably eating tons of food and abusing those villagers up there. But me, I was living down in the cold, harsh valley, and I was surviving like I was Bear Grylls out here. You know, like I was in that show Alone, where you're just kind of like alone in the wilderness and you're really cold and hungry. That was literally me. But good thing I'm freaking Spider-Man and I can do whatever I want. So anyways, sorry with that little intermission there. I chopped down some trees, and I had a good amount of spruce and oak saplings by now, and I decided, like, every time I cut down trees, I'll collect all the saplings, like chop them all down at once, and then just keep replanting. Like, oh, just kidding. I was blown up by a creeper in the broad daylight at my own base. Somebody tell me how that works, you know? So anyways, I made some pickaxes after that, and it was actually kind of clutch with what that creeper did, because it made me full health and full hunger, at least for a little bit. But I knew I needed to go mining. I wanted to get a little bit of iron and definitely some copper, so I could make that copper gear, that early game gear. And if I had enough iron, I could make an iron bucket. I guess iron bucket. There's no other kinds of buckets, but make a bucket so I could do some more farming. So as I cut into the earth here, I was actually able to find some coal, which was nice. The coal is definitely going to be good to light up my base. And then tons of copper. It turns out when you want copper, it will be apparent and it will be there. But there's a lot of copper. I mean, there's a lot of copper. There was an infinite amount of copper. So I grabbed all that copper. I had maybe 10 stacks of it by now, and I was kind of tired of it. And I decided I was going to get tons of copper gear. I was going to just be stacked. But before that, I went down to the river, grabbed some of those candy canes. I don't really know why I wanted sugarcane early game, but I just knew I'd do enchanting eventually. And when you want to do enchanting, you need paper and everything. So I grabbed my copper. I had about 47 smelted here, and I made full copper armor. And copper armor is actually huge. That was one of the best updates Mojang's done in a while. Making copper gear is such a good early game transition to iron and eventually to like diamond, because you are just spending no resources on some early game mining, and it's super nice to get like basically stone tools with just that much more durability. So that's exactly what I was doing here. And I even made a copper hoe because I like to upgrade my hoes. And then I made a little water source here with my new iron bucket, and just started planting some crops. I knew I needed something nearby my base. I didn't want to have to run downhill to the river every time to get food and whatever. So I planted all the potatoes I had, and beetroot and some wheat seeds. And then I did a little bit of running around, because I had spent enough time at that early game base, and man, I was getting hungry. I was surviving off of pretty much apples at this point. Here was an igloo that somebody else on the server made, pretty cool. And then there was actually a village nearby both of our bases that I hadn't gone to yet, and this was going to be perfect. And as I explored it, I thought, man, this would be a cool spot to make a town hall, like a little community center. This was our first day of playing on the server, and so I kind of wanted to do like a deed for the general good. And so that's exactly what I did. I decided just if I started a project here, other people would kind of build off of it, and it would look good eventually. And so I only pretty much had cobblestone and spruce and oak, but turns out that was like enough just to get started here. And so that's exactly what I did, is I just got started, and all I had in my head was that I was going to make this like circular-ish ring out of wood at the top, and then I'd like have a glass ceiling. You know, pretty genius. I know people haven't really built like that, and obviously I'm a really good builder here. So but anyways, you can see the build kind of coming together. I just used a bunch of spruce and just kind of messed around with different shapes or whatever, and I just wanted it to look like just like a general town meeting center. It didn't need to be big, it didn't need to be like super expansive, but I did kind of have a goal that if I did make something, I want it to like branch out so it can keep being built. Like I didn't want it to just be a standalone building. So what I did here was there's like 4 wings to it, and there's just like one little like place in the middle that's just connects them all. And so that's kind of what this building's for. I just had some villagers there I trapped too, so if anybody wanted to do like villager breeding, that would be cool. But honestly, a very good start to the build. I'm really happy with it, and I think people will start to use it more in the future. And guys, that's going to be it for this episode. I really appreciate everybody who was watching and tuning in. There will be very more episodes to come.